Well, I decided to speak on this matter because I have the moral obligation to do so as a devotee who served under the prophet till his last moment, and privileged to be made a trustee of the SCOAN ministries, and also being the face behind Emmanuel TV commentaries since its inception. I would have loved to toe the path of my mentor, who in his characteristic manner never used to respond to critics and blasphemers because of their ignorance and arrogance. You know, it is pretty hard to convince a mind that is already warped or biased. Remember when Jesus stood trial before Pontius Pilate, he remained silent when he realized that the truth had been ignored. However, I am doing this to strengthen the faith of the millions of people who have been followers of the TB Joshua's ministries and have been greatly inspired by his teachings, impacted by his miracles, and benefited from his generosity through various works of charity. To them, I say, cheer up. Prophet TB Joshua is just being ushered into his posthumous Hall of Fame with these new waves of free adverts. As someone who served in the SCOAN ministries for 27 years of my life, all those so-called disciples met me in the ministry except Bisola. I knew how most of them came and why they left. But I didn't think it was necessary refuting any of those fabricated allegations, fabricated confessions coming from the lips of disgruntled persons who could not endure the discipline of discipleship and as a result dropped out with malicious discontent. And now it's time to make a career from tarnishing the reputation of the same man you once called daddy, daddy, and enjoyed his fatherly love and care for so many years. What a shame. I'm not here to attack anyone, but I will only touch on a few issues that bother on those things some people so much believe as convincing pieces of evidences. Those materials you see must have taken some serious time and effort to carefully craft them together. For instance, the prophet never stopped disciples from getting married. He only taught us that it is better for one to secure his or her future first before going into marriage. He said, since marriage is both a commitment and responsibility, if you are still in the pursuit of your career and at the same time thinking about marriage, it becomes an unnecessary liability. That is it. As he said, how can I be backing you and you are backing someone else? And for goodness sake, how do you think a leader who is married and have children will stop his followers from doing the same? So firstly, the lady Angelique had left the ministry way back to her country because she wanted to get married to a fellow disciple, but the prophet advised her based on what I've just said, but she disagreed and left. After a long while, she suddenly reappeared in front of the church gate with a hidden camera and started screaming, causing scene. He had sex with me, he made love with me. Why didn't she do that when she was living? Come on, you call that evidence? No, it is acting. And please take this for records. Ajoke was never a biological daughter of Prophet TB Joshua. The prophet has only 3 biological daughters, and the whole world know them. Ajoke was a few days old baby abandoned under a truck around the church premises by her callous mother. The prophet picked her up and reported the case to the police, and rather than sending her to the orphanage home, he chose to father her. Despite adopting her as his own daughter and giving her all the fatherly love and care. And this little girl was growing up to the admiration of everyone, and suddenly